Hi, this is Steve Stefanides from Coastal Breeze News. And I've got Deb Henry with me today, candidate for the Marco Island City Council. It's her first time running for the council, and we're going to spend a little time with her, and we've got some questions that we've acquired from different spots and places, and if you could just give the best answers that you possibly can. There is no tricks, no nothing. All right, it's wonderful, and we're very appreciative that you've taken the time to run for council.
Thank you.
So, okay, we're going to get going. Okay,
All right.
First question is, what are the top 3 issues facing residents today, in your opinion, and what steps would you take to address them?
The top 3 things I think for the residents of Marco is obviously the water issues. I think communication between the rumor starters and stuff like that. I think communication between the city and the residents, all residents, the part-timers, not just the people here on the island full-time.
Sure.
And number 3, I would go with the balance of visitors and, our residents comes down to bike safety and just people coming under island and not being familiar with how things are here and just being aware that the residents are here and this is our home.
And how would you address that last part?
The bike safety,
To make people familiar.
to make them familiar, I think there should be an acclimation with rental properties and with the hotels and just different businesses of the rules of the road for bike riding. There are bike lanes. Sidewalks are for walking, bike lanes are for riding. Just a common courtesy. I think that's something that's missing in a lot of ways. Is just the common courtesy to people, projecting a smile, making people feel welcome, and not feeling like it's my island, knowing that, their tax dollars make our tax base lower, that we just need to welcome people in just a more friendly way and let them know the way different things work with, I guess it's common courtesy.
Common courtesy is a good thing to have, yeah. Okay, second question for you, okay. How would you propose, I can get that one out early this morning. How would you propose the city adjust the budgeting process to increase residents' input, through that process and ensure we can afford necessary services for those projects? Would you like me to repeat it?
Repeat that,
Okay, I
it's
will.
a little twisted.
How would you propose, to adjust the city's budgeting process? In other words, should we start it earlier? How should we do it?
Oh, I see where you're
One thing or
going.
another. Because the problem is most people aren't here when they do the budgeting process. It starts in May, all right? They're gone. Gone up north, out west, what have you. Got any ideas how we can improve that?
That's right, with communication. I'm a huge proponent for a community newsletter so that the highlights of what is going on, what is upcoming, will be provided to every homeowner, property owner, resident, so that there's no surprises. This is the budget schedule. People seem to pay attention and they're reactive. I'm a proactive person. So if you know ahead of time that these are the few ideas going down, you might not be here, but you can always, watch city council meetings, write to your city councilor, have a voice as long as it's communicated. And communication is the key. That a community newsletter would give all of that information ahead of time to let individuals and the property owners know what is going on. So I wouldn't change that because more and more people, we live here full time. And the people that are only here for 5 or 6 months, they still count. Obviously, they pay taxes. That, they would just have to take the step and make sure they read their email that comes out every month that gives them the information of what's forthcoming.
Okay. All right. The next question, which is in a lot of people's minds, the city's advisory committees. You're familiar with them. All right. Are they effective as design. And do you have any ideas to make them more effective?
I think they are very effective. I think it is interesting that, the city is made up of a lot of volunteers. I think I'm on the Audit Advisory Committee. And, we did a lot of amazing things just trying to, with the budget and being able to see different things that the common resident doesn't know about. But the Audit Advisory, I'll use the Waterways Committee as an example, my phone's ringing, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize. You have 7 individuals, or maybe there's just 6 now, and varying opinions. But that's good, because opinions are welcome, and then we have different ways to look at different things. So I do think they are effective.
Well, the committee you sit on, it's a little bit different than any of the other committees that are out there. It's a very structured committee,
Yeah.
compared to, let's say, beautification or any of the rest of them. So yours is sort of a unique committee.
Right.
You're lucky to have such a great guy like Gil to
Exactly.
assist you and
Yeah,
bring it through.
he helps tremendously. Beautification, I think they do amazing work with the little amount of money that they have to do. You drive by the wrapped boxes. And
beautiful.
That's absolutely beautiful. And other people's ideas, because, as employees, they have a structure and they do their job, but the committees do it because they have a passion for the city and for the individual committee that they're on. So I do think they're effective. Once again, they're volunteers, and I think they need to be recognized and not ridiculed for volunteering their time and coming up with new ideas of things to do.
Great. Number 4, how can the city more effectively communicate with its residents? You sort of touched on that earlier, but it's a separate question.
Once again, a community newsletter. I've done mock-ups of just, when the budget comes out and different information that goes with that. Another huge thing, I think, is, did you know? There's so many things that on this island, people have been here and they just know it happens. Well, some people moved here a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, and they don't realize that there's services or chances to have other things from the city that you don't know about. That I think to have a more kind of like, when you're in church and everybody knows the hymn, but there's no book. It's kind of just, it's because of routine. Well, some people are new and they might need to learn what the routine is. So a community newsletter, I think, is key to have from the city employees, from the city council, just so all issues are out there, because the newspaper, there's other items, but this would just be the words from it. And I want to include with that for communication, a civil calendar, and because, there could be a bid opening for something that's on the city's website, and nobody looks at it and knows about it. Well, that's a surprise, right? But if you looked at the city's website, you'd know this was happening. So I think to be aware of different things as they're happening, so then there aren't surprises. Once again, being proactive, not reactive.
Okay. All right. This is a tough one because this is on top of everybody's mind, at least every once in a while. Do you think code enforcement is effective today, or do you see ways in which you think you could make it more effective?
Oh, 100% it could be more effective. The fact that our code enforcement officers are all part-time, there's not a, per se, conversation daily. It's not like a shift change and let somebody know what happened earlier that day or how the street works. The island is not that big. I have an issue on my street with code enforcement with trash cans. Just to be more aware, I think that making people full-time and then therefore almost like a police officer after a shift change, they have a debriefing and they know what's happening from day to day and who or what area could have a certain issue or an issue that is unpreventable. And so that there's not a reason, but then other areas that need to be pursued.
Give me an example of unpreventable.
I'm from my street.
Go ahead.
The way our cul-de-sac is, the island at the end of our cul-de-sac is huge. It's really big. Fire trucks, nobody can make it around it. Trash trucks. So everybody puts their trash cans on my front lawn. If they don't put it back properly, I get a violation. So I call code enforcement. I'm like, the house number's on the can. But I have to call every time. It's like they're not aware that the people can't put their trash cans at their own driveway because the trash truck can't make it around the cul-de-sac. So code enforcement wouldn't need to be writing that up if they were aware on a regular basis of that situation.
Okay. This next question is a multifaceted question. I'm going to give you 3 different sub-questions, so to speak. The environment that we have here on the island, it is a driver of the economy of this island. And as such, we'd like to ask you a couple of questions. As of September 2024, the disorientation of sea turtle hatchlings making their way to the Gulf, okay? Some of the highest, if not the highest, according to the county, in the county itself. And what would you do to change that so that we could lower that amount of disoriented crawls, so to speak?
I believe it's not per se disoriented crawls. I recall the report. It was so many percent of eggs were destroyed by wildlife. It wasn't.
No, the question is specifically disoriented crawls. If you know there's a segment of the highest in the county.
I don't think we had the highest in the county. I thought Vanderbilt Beach did.
I'm asking the question.
Yeah, I from what
proposed from an environmentalist.
From what I understand, our crawls that are successful. It's the disorientation. I think the condos do a great job. Code enforcement does do a good job. The property or condo managers do a good job of making sure the lights are out and giving warnings and such, and giving fines. From what I understand, its disorientation is not an issue per se on our beach. It's more so the wildlife getting into the nest and taking the eggs.
Okay. Second part of this the question overall: would you endorse the city buying its own conservation land here to protect the burrowing owls and tortoises?
Conservation Collier has done a great job. The only time I would even think for the city of Marco to get involved is that we had that one situation where I think it was like a $20,000 difference in order to settle the purchase. That's where, yes, I would step in. But Conservation Collier, I think that, has all the money, and we should just, hang on to their coat strings, and, we are a part of Collier County, and they can make the purchases.
Okay. The last and not least, and I'm going to read it direct if you don't mind. Okay, water quality has always been a concern for residents. Recently, the city opted to test quarterly instead of monthly. Made that decision. Do you believe the testing schedule is adequate, and should the public be notified if bacteria levels indicate a non-healthy swimming environment?
Yes, I definitely believe it should be testing in monthly because, the rainy season, the different times, the water's changing. So we do need to test monthly. And yes, I do believe that the public should be known about water quality, water health. The same as in the coastal breeze and the way is with the police blotter. The water report should be noted, just so people are aware of what is where and what the different issues are, because the issues are different all over the island. I think there's 12 testing sites that, yes, people should be fully aware. And once again, does the public know where all the testing sites are? Are they aware of where the testing is done? I just found out it's done in my bay. So, I think that once again, it's sharing information with the public so that they're aware of exactly what's going on rather than just, having people handle paperwork and telling you things after the fact. Once again, proactive, not reactive.
Okay. The explosion of new building on the island has created a hodgepodge of architectural designs, so to speak. Do you believe there should be a approval process for the architectural designs that are being built on the island today versus just meeting setbacks and one thing or another?
No, I do not think that that's an individual's rights. This is not an HOA island. It's an island with residents on it, and you buy your land and you build your house as you desire. There's no, that's not even.
It's a non-starter.
That's a non-starter.
Okay, all right. Because you are a fresh out of the box person with this, just give a little bit of your background prior to coming in. How long have you been on the island?
Okay. I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, from the suburbs. I ran a commercial construction company. I was a specialty contractor for 30 years in Philadelphia. And I made the decision, I realized I was not the most present parent. So we made the decision that when my daughter was going into high school that I would sell my company. I sold everything I owned in Pennsylvania. My husband and I and my daughter moved here so that I could be a full-time mom. We've been here for 5.5 years full-time, but my husband and I were married on the beach in 2003 here on Marco, and we've been property owners since 2005. And I made my second career once my daughter was driving and didn't need mom as much. That's when I kind of dove into the community. First with St. John Newman Catholic High School in Naples, and then secondly, I joined the Chamber of Commerce. I am a Rotarian. I'm on the board of directors for Eval Hospice. I volunteer with Little Pink Houses. Did I say I'm a Rotarian, a New Time Rotarian as well? It's a pretty long list. I spend a lot of time out with everybody, just being a part of the community that I love and that is my home.
Okay, very good. We appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you.
And you want to wrap it up quick with anything that you want people to know?
I just want people to know that I'm running for city council because I recognize that different people that were in office or running for office seem to, almost say have an agenda. I'm running purely because I truly I love the people of this island. I love this island. And I want to make sure there's just a fair balance for all representation for all. The full-time residents, the snowbirds, the visitors, the property owners that get to come here for vacation that I did for, so many years. Just for everybody to be a community and not be pointing fingers at, well, I'm here, you're not, whatever. We're all taxpayers. We're all part of Marco Island.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate
best
you.
of luck. Okay.
Thank you very much.
In November. Yeah, it's not that far away.
No, it's not. No, I think we're like 50 some days.
Thank you.
Thank
and just
you.
a reminder that we're doing all 6 of the candidates, for Marco Island City Council, and we hope that all of you at home enjoy the this little podcast, and we'll go from there.
Thank you.